Hassana Gambo, a green building expert and sustainability consultant, is joining me right now for us to take a look at COP28. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now let's get started. Beyond the noise and beyond the distractions that we saw in terms of the number of delegates that went to Dubai, do you think that we really got some gains from the summit?
We did. We did get, naturally, African nations were part of those that were seriously agitating for loss and damage, and there has been some reasonable stride made in that direction. Huge contributions made. The funds will be with the World Bank for now. It will be, there are frameworks that has been created to be able to make sure that things start rolling properly. And Nigeria will definitely be part of those countries that are going to gain, and so many others.
In what areas do you think that will gain?
Right. I think, like specifically, the renewable energy. Major strides achieved in this COP. Renewable energy. Globally, there has been, a general agreement that globally everybody is going to ramp up, triple up the agitation on renewable.
Okay, you were talking about the gains earlier for Nigeria. So,
and there is the global adaptation. Global goals on adaptation. There has been a tremendous achievement in that as well, which sort of goes hand in hand with the loss and damage fund on how developing economies can build up their resilience. And for Nigeria specifically, we can talk about the initiative, the presidential initiative launched by President Bola Tinubu on rolling out of the 100 electric buses and establishing the carbon credit system, making it to become robust for Nigeria to be able to start, working on that, running. Let's hit the ground running on the carbon credit, because that's one area that will be able to access funding for resilience.
We also have mixed reactions around the transition away from fossil fuels.
Yes,
and
definitely.
This is a country that still have a lot of oil reserves needs money for development, and where we also get money is perhaps largely historically we've been getting it from oil. How do you think that this will really impact our trajectory? Because the rest of the world, especially globalized economies, are saying we need to move away from fossil fuels.
Well, in my humble opinion, business as usual is over, because it is considered, COP28 is considered a historic COP because the whole issue of phasing out fossil fuel was injected in the whole draft. That goes to show you how serious this issue is, and it's not something for us as a fossil-driven economy in Nigeria. It's not really, we're not kind of excited about it, because automatically it's going to affect every single, everything around our economy. The OPEC struggled seriously, they fought, and as you must have heard, the organizing, the host, UAE, Saudi Arabia, other nations fought hard, but the beautiful thing, the thing is, I think this is something that it's somehow inevitable. We will just have to get here.
No, but Nigeria and the rest, some other African countries are clamoring for fairness, justice, and equity.
Equity, exactly.
Climate justice, climate equity, and other African countries, as well as Nigeria, saying, come on, guys, you've developed enough, and we need this thing. So how do you think we can really navigate that very delicate balance?
I feel
sorry to cut you short, because even a few projects now, even some few financiers are saying, we will not give you finance until it's attached to green project, yes, and all of that.
Yes, and with this new declaration, Nigeria will have to openly, clearly make a commitment. We have to clearly make a commitment by 2030, how much reduction, by 2050, how much, and we can't go back on our words. So we have to start looking inwards and hit the ground running. But I still have hope in the gaps. There are some gaps that Nigeria can capitalize on.
What are those gaps?
Fair fair phasing out, fair removal. Nations, countries like Nigeria, African nations that we heavily need these resources to become climate resilient. We can be able to push our narrative forward, negotiate harder in future COP negotiations, negotiate harder to be given more leeway, to be given a little bit of support and, kind of subsidies or considering our situation. We cannot be, those in the global south cannot be put at the same pedestal as those with those at the global north. And particularly, why am I emphasizing on this? Because at this moment, yes, there has been huge contributions on the loss and damage fund, close to $700 million. But for so long, we've been hearing about that, and where nobody sees the money coming. It doesn't come. Even if it does, it comes in trickles with so much, difficulty. So considering the pressure isn't so hard on nations to put in the funds for the loss and damage, I feel we shouldn't be, given too much. We should be given the leeway to be able to come out of this fossil fuel economy in a reasonable and fair, equitable way.
President Tinubu said that we need $10 billion every year until 2060 to achieve the transition plan. Yeah. Are you optimistic we'll get this money, bearing in mind that other African countries are also, it's a survival of the fittest.
Of the fittest.
Yes.
And sincerely, I'm very doubtful, because when you're looking at the global north, developed nations don't really see Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria is part of the nations that are really at the receiving end of the climate impact, but we have the resources to be able to pull ourselves out.
How do we have the resources?
We do.
We do have yes, how do we have the resources? Because we have other competing needs too.
Exactly.
Yeah, because are you talking of resources in terms of funds? Let me understand, or resources that will get us funds to be able to do that?
Resources that will get us funds. We just need to put our house in order. These finances that we're hearing that are coming in and out and going here and there, if we are able to prove that these funds, once they come, they are truly going to be utilized for these projects, that are truly going to be utilized for improving our capacity to become renewable energy, to improve our energy sources, transportation, and all of that, I think we'll be okay compared to other African nations that don't even have these resources.
When do you think that the quick wins will come, especially in our transition phase? For example, now there are a lot of people in the rural areas using firewoods. I'm even aware now that even the firewoods are not even available anymore because, forests have been, there's been so much deforestation and all of that. So where do you think that we will do the quick wins, we'll get the quick wins? Also, I remember when President Jonathan, his administration, there was a project that was launched, I think clean fuel, cooking gas. Only God knows how that project really went. So in what areas do you think that President Tinubu can quickly,
Yes, we have to concentrate on the low-hanging fruits. Those achievable things, we have to put efforts, we have to ram up, go all out on the low-hanging fruits, the quick achievable things, so as to reduce pressure on the fossil fuel gas narratives. Okay. Clean cooking, this thing has been going on for long, and I believe it's achievable. It's truly achievable because, as you've said now, the coal is even expensive. The firewood is not easily available. All we need to do is make it randomly available. Randomly clean cooking options, and it's under the whole agenda of renewable energy. When we're talking about energy, it doesn't mean we're only talking about electricity. It includes cooking sources as well. So at this moment, this is something that we are in need of. We're in need of, and making a difference for 200 million Nigerians. It will really make an impact on the whole carbon emission situation.
How do you think the Ministry of Environment should be able to galvanize, and perhaps even the agencies that went there? I know that REA signed the Memorandum of Understanding, I think. So how do you think that perhaps Nigerian agencies and even ministries that went to COP28, how should they put their house in order and, come up with certain things that at the end of the day will definitely be able to measure the gains?
Yes. Well, in my opinion, I think when we're talking about carbon emission, it is multifaceted. So overspreading ourselves thin makes it difficult for us to make an impactful, how will I say, make an impactful presence. I believe we should, the initiative, like the presidential initiative that has been inaugurated with the Ministry of Environment, should be able to come up with 3 to 5 major areas that we are confident will be able to make impactful difference, like green buildings, renewable energy, clean cooking, transportation. We've already rolled it out, the electrical vehicle buses. So these are areas that instead of agencies and ministries, everybody, you know, in everywhere, and they're not making much achievement, we concentrate on impactful areas that will be able, we know, will be able to go deep down and calculate serious emission mitigations.
So between now and the next COP, what should Nigeria do?
Between now and the next COP, definitely we are going to come up with our own updated NDCs, National Determined Contributions, and we are, you know, by that time we're aware that the whole discussion about fossil fuel, it's now on the table. So things will only get, you know, start improving. So we have to sit back on the table, start making realistic projections on what we can do, where we can do what.
And what should be that realistic projections? What would those realistic projections be?
Gas flaring, that has to be out of the question. And we don't have an option but to declare how we're going to keep reducing our exploration. At what percentage are we going to bring in renewable energy, and what percentage is going to be fossil fuel-driven energy? We have to declare that. So we have to sit down and calculate how is it realistic? How can we be able to achieve that in every sector, major sector, electricity, transportation, and other areas?
Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for coming on the show.